go, take two. Welcome back to the channel. Hey guys, I am Yaz, and this is Yaz. You didn't see that? And I am here. Oh my god, y'all, it's so damn hot. It is so damn hot. So I am really not feeling the greatest, but I needed to come on here and do this video because I think once I do the video, it'll help me ease my mind because I got a lot going on in my mind and I need to do something about it. So just wanted to say welcome if you are new to the channel. I am Yaz. I'm a visually impaired mom. I'm a podcaster. The name of the podcast is called Yaz. You didn't see that, just like the YouTube channel and all of my social media. So if you are on Facebook, TikTok, um, what else is there? Instagram. That's the name of those social media channels. Yes, you didn't see that. So come over, say hi, follow me on those if you so choose. And I really would appreciate it if you so choose. Oh my God, y'all, it's so goddamn hot. I'm like sweat like ridiculously underneath this goddamn wig. But I think that's also because I don't feel good. But I wanted to film this video today to talk about something that I think a lot of us, struggle with, and that is time management. Yes, time management and trying to balance our work and those who work and our personal lives with family and all kind of stuff. We got so many obligations nowadays, and time management, it's hard to like juggle all of those things. So we are going to be talking, well, I'm going to be talking about some strategies or hacks that I found helpful for me to be able to help me balance life as a mom and raising. I have a teenage son, so he's in school and all of the things that I'm involved with, so, or at least trying to stay involved with. So I hope you stick around to the end. There are going to be a lot of valuable gems here, so please stick around to the end. If you do enjoy the content that you are seeing, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification, so you know when I upload some videos. The channel does have quite a few videos already on this. You might want to go back and check those out. Um, but yes, let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. Y'all, shit, it's so hot. It's so hot. All right, guys. All right, so let's jump into the first strategy. There are going to be 7 strategies, hacks that we can discuss today. So, Lord, I'm sweating. Pardon me, y'all. Just pardon me if I'm here sweating bullets because I'm, it's hot. I don't want to put the fan on right now because then it's going to be too loud, and I'm just trying to do this. I got the windows open, but god dang it. So, pardon me if I'm like dripping sweat, but you see the dedication? You see the dedication? Okay, let's be serious, y'all. Now, the first step we're going to be discussing is, I'm going to say, is to, what are your priorities? That's the biggest thing. Like when we're trying to manage our time, we definitely have to know what our priorities are and what's important to us, and like what's important to the family, what we need to be doing, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I would suggest that as far as your priorities, write down your top, priorities. Write them down. That way you have them close so you know what the heck you doing. Because, like, time can get away from us. Life gets busy, and, sometimes we forget what we have prioritized, to do. And, it all comes down to like really just being organized. I find that for myself that, let me tell y'all, I gotta have like 20 million calendars, and it's just a shame, but my memory, I am having a problem with my memory at the moment, but I'll tell you about that another time. But currently, what I've been doing is I keep multiple calendars, so I'm able to know, what I'm doing. That way, I don't forget anything. Make sure I tackle, all of the things that need to get done. So when we talking about, when we mean priorities, like, well, first off, the majority, not the majority, but the main one I would say is, well, before I even get into that, let's talk about the age range here I'm talking about. I mean, I think, this can go for anybody who needs help with time management, but I'm like really focused on, a certain age demographic right now, which is, age 25 to 45. So in that, you know that prime age group there, a lot is happening, like I said earlier, in the intro, that we may have families, relationships, work, family, a whole lot of things could be going on. You may own your own business, so we out here doing everything. Like, now this is the age of multiple streams of income. People have a whole bunch of jobs and all that kind of stuff. So you need to have some kind of system set up where you can balance all of that in order to be effective, and things will work out. So tip number one is basically to write down all of your, things that you feel are like the most important, like the type, like, things that you really want to take care of and prioritize. And so that could be like making sure the bills is paid. Like, we ain't trying to be out here being homeless. So make sure your bills is paid. So that could be like on the list. It doesn't have to be number one, but it has, wherever it fits into your life. If your kids, right now we're in the middle of summer, so the kids are off, but in some states, kids are going back to school next month. So if that means that you have to start getting, the school supply list together, purchasing uniforms and, that kind of thing, after school care, y'all know. Y'all know, once the summer's over and we back into the full swing of things, everything moves pretty fast. So you definitely want to make sure that uh, you keep a list, keep it close, of the, maybe like your top 5 things that you want to prioritize, that you want to do better. So if that's, like, for instance, with the bills, what I do is, I have it in my calendar. So not every bill is due, at the beginning of the month. So, I have some bills that are due at the beginning, the middle, and the end. And, I have that in the calendar already scheduled. And I think you can do it like in the calendar. I know, like, on my phone, you're able to do it, for like multiple times. Like, it doesn't have to just be in there that one time. I think they ask you, like, is this an ongoing thing, kind of thing. So it'll be in there up until next year if you schedule it like that in your, in your calendar or whatever. So, so I've been finding that helpful, and I know when the bills are due, I make sure I put the date, the amount, and I set reminders for myself to know that when it's coming up, to make sure, like, the payment is there in the account. So when that day comes, then I it can be paid. And I also found it helpful that I also have a lot of things on auto pay. So if I if I forget that something is due, or I forget to set a reminder or something, at least that I know that it's on auto pay. Usually the money will be already be, in the account, so I can just, set it and forget it, kind of thing. But that's the main thing for tip number one. I went on a little rant there, but is this the main idea of step number one is to set your priorities, your goals, and write them down, keep them near, so you can reflect Go back and look if you need to. Let's move on to tip number 2. Okay, so now that we have step number 1 taken care of, which is, make setting our goals, what is our priorities, making sure we got the right priorities. Step number 2 is um, setting a schedule, and I kind of touched on it in step number 1, but now here we are in step number 2, which is setting a schedule. Now, in order for things to um, go well, we have to, you can't do everything in an hour, 2 hours. Like, there has to just be a set time for certain things. So when you create your schedule, you want to make sure you divide the day, or as much as the day as you can, into certain blocks of time. So for instance, if you are like, for me, I do well more so in the morning time, like early morning time, where I would do the majority of the work that I need to do during the day, because after a certain a certain time in the daytime, or like toward the afternoon, I start to get tired. So if that is something that you do, if you are like a morning person and you are more productive in the morning, like early morning, you may want to set, like, maybe you need to like clean up the house, or maybe not the whole house, but maybe like the kitchen and the bathroom you'll do between like 9 and 11. And then depending on what time of day it is, and depending on what time whatever your schedule allows is how you will set it up. But the point is to set it up. So for me, I've been doing, again, like, I have a lot of alarms set on my phone, for things to help me remember certain things. So I'm also a diabetic, so when I have to check my insulin, check my blood sugar or take my insulin, there's a reminder on that, and I definitely know I have to get better with doing that. But those are the kind of things when when setting a schedule. If you have, if the kids have to go somewhere, if they're going to, it's like I said, it's summertime, they want to go hang out with their friends, they going to a party, they going, they got a trip for summer camp or something, you got to take them somewhere. You make sure you set a little timer or reminder in the schedule. Put that on the calendar. It definitely helps to have a calendar. And if you have more than one calendar, that's where it's at. That really is where it's at, because I don't know anybody who just has one calendar. Like, I got like 7 calendars. It don't make no sense, because even though I got one child, it's I do a lot of different things. And I belong to a few groups, organizations. So when I have meetings and things, I have to have it helps that I have a different calendar for them, and not everything on the same thing, because I don't want it to be all jumbled up. And the calendar is where I can access it and, know what's happening for the day. So, again, I'm trying not to ramble so much, but, I'm starting to feel a little better. That the sun is, starting to set, so I guess I better hurry up. I better hurry up. So let's recap real quick. Step number 1 is to make sure you set your priorities, your goals, so you know what you're working toward. Step number 2 is to set a schedule. Make sure you um, like set up blocks of time, so what you're doing, for these for like 30 minutes. If you know what you're doing for the hour, that way, you feel, at least I know I feel more accomplished when I'm doing it like that. That way I can just check things off as I'm going through it, and I don't forget. So let's go into step number 3, or tip number 3.
2,000 years later.
Okay, and we are back with Tip number three is to delegate and outsource. Let me say it again. Delegate and outsource is tip number three. And I think this is the hardest thing for women to do. I know, especially for me. Look, my leg is falling asleep, so I'm trying to hold this thing up on the bed and everything, y'all. Oh my God, y'all, bear with a sister. So, like I said, so step number three is pretty hard for most people. It's like I said, delegating and outsourcing. And I know, like, for me, this is sometimes very hard for me to do because I feel like, I got to do everything because, you know how you want things to be done, right? And that is, hopefully, I do not mess this up as I'm trying to move it down. Maybe I'll just tilt it. There we go. We feel like we got to do everything, and we don't want nobody else to touch the stuff and kind of, all of that kind of thing. You know how we do. So, for this kind of thing, what's become more popular now. I mean, I know people have always done it, but now it's the last, like, I want to say at least these last, what, maybe 10 years or so. I have a lot of friends who say they, when it comes to the housework, like they hire like a housekeeper to come in and do, they may do some light cleaning or deep clean or whatever because their lives are so busy that they, excuse me, that they do not have time to do everything. And, you don't want the house to be falling apart. You want to be able to come home to something, clean and comfortable. So, so that's where like the outsourcing comes in. So if there's something that you can do nowadays with the groceries, like we don't have to go to the grocery store no more, really. You can order, through Amazon Fresh, Instacart, those kind of things where they will deliver the groceries to you and you don't have to go to the grocery store no more. So, ever since the pandemic, that's what I've been, mainly utilizing for the grocery shopping. My son and I, we still go to we go into the store, when we need to, but for the most part, I try to do the grocery shopping online. That way, they can bring it. Cause hey, when you look, when you got to get them heavy cases of water, ain't nobody trying to be carrying all of that around. No, let them deliver that. Let them deliver it, and I'll get somebody to put it away. So, things like that are very important to do. So, you don't burn yourself out. And a lot of us, especially parents, we tend to get burnt out really quick, especially if you have more than one kid. There's a lot happening, and you got to keep the house up, and if you have a significant other, husband or whatever, you got to tend to them, and it's just so much could be happening in your life where you just need things to be a lot more easier, and outsourcing some of those tasks will definitely be very helpful to you. So let's move on to number four. Number four is what is number four? I forgot number four. Setting boundaries. Yes, setting boundaries is number four. Now, I could say that, it's self explanatory, but, sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes people don't understand your time. And sometimes it is hard to tell people no. Like, I know I am guilty of it. Somebody asks me to do something, I kind of see if it's possible. But if it's not, then I just be like, I don't really know about it. But then they, will try to convince you, or they do convince you to actually go ahead and still do it. And you just be like, God dang it. Like, and then you up to the wee hours of the morning trying to figure it out and get it done because they asked you. So, when it comes to setting boundaries, you have to be like really firm. If you really cannot do it, please don't do it. Like, don't run yourself into the ground. And like I said, now I had to back away from a lot of things that I'm, currently involved in because, my memory. But and just because things are, I'm interested in a lot more um, other things that I wanted to, try um, and I've gave the things that I've currently been doing, I've gave it, a good run. I'm not totally out of it, but I definitely took like a huge, gigantic step back from doing it because it's just like, okay, yeah, I like it, but I want to do something else. And no, please don't ask me. And and also like also another thing about setting the boundaries is for you to know, what you can do. You know what you are capable of doing and what your time will allow. So if you got 60 million things happening this week, don't volunteer to do something because you don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know when you're going to be able to do it. And then you want to be able to put your best foot forward with it. So you don't want handed no trash, right? So make sure you set the boundaries and they are clear boundaries, and let people know, no, I do not have time. I don't have any extra time to spare to be able to assist with this. And they just gonna have to understand. I mean, I think so, right? I think so. I really do. Now, all right. So here we are on tip number 5. Tip number 5 is also important because this is where like 4 and 5 kind of go hand in hand with, like, tip number 4 was like setting boundaries. Tip number 5 is creating like a work strategy. Now, I've heard this before. This was told to me recently, to help me with, with my memory, is to, when I say create like work, a good work strategy, that means, okay, so if you already have your list of things that you need to do, right? If you already have like a to-do list and you have 5 things on that to-do list, and you say, okay, yeah, I think I can get this all done in one day. Now, now we know we only have 2 arms. We don't have no extra limbs. We are not like animal in the ocean, the octopus. That is not us. We do not have eight arms or however many arms they got, but we ain't got but 2. So and we cannot be in 2 places at one time. So the point of tip number 5 is to be able to break down your list into small, manageable tasks, right? Let me say that again. Break down the list into small, manageable tasks. So that way it's easier for you to accomplish what you need to accomplish, and you're able to get the things done that you need to get done. Now sometimes everything ain't gonna get done in one day, so you got to understand that. So you should not be out there in these streets till midnight trying to get everything done on that list unless it's absolutely necessary and you ain't got no other choice. But if it's not that serious, then breaking things down into smaller chunks will make things more manageable, and if you prioritize what needs to be done first. So if you start off with, like I said, your 5 things, and you need to go to the grocery store, you need to maybe take the kid to the doctor, and let's see what other tasks usually has to be done. You probably have to, maybe you have an appointment, maybe the adult has an appointment somewhere, and then, you're supposed to meet somebody, and, if you told those kind of things. So if you have to do something like that, then of course you prioritize. If your kid has an appointment, you go do that. If you have an appointment, you go do that. Then you may go to the grocery store, because if you ain't got no food in the house, go get the food. Go get the food. Don't wait till later. Don't go to the takeout. Just go to the grocery store. And so you would prioritize those, your child, yourself, and the household. Make sure you get those things done first before you go on to the other things. So maybe if you need to go like pick up some dry cleaning or something like that, you don't have to necessarily, go right away to get that. But It all depends on your situation, but I would definitely say make sure you prioritize the list, do what's most important first, and then you move on down the list. So you make it you make the task easy, so you're not burnt out, you're not tired, and you can get the things accomplished, because the main thing is to be able to balance all of the things that you have to do in your life, along with other things that you have to do in your life, or maybe there's other people involved in your life. So the point is to be able to get those things straight, and take care of you while you're taking care of your responsibilities. Make sense? I think it makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's move on to tip number 6.
2,000 years later.
So we are going to do the last two tips together. So, because I don't want this video to be too long, it's probably going to be long, but hopefully it's not going to be long. And plus the sun looks like it's going down. But I think, you guys can see me pretty good, so that's good. But anywho, so tip number 6 is family time. Scheduling the family time. Now, again, with everything going on in the world today, and there's a lot happening, and families are busy. Everybody's doing something in the family. They may not always be at the end of the night together. They may not be sitting at the dinner table together at the end of the night, because there's, like I said, so many things happening. So you definitely want to be able to schedule some family time if you have a family. If you don't have kids, if you have a sister, brother, you want to go see your mom, dad, that's still family time. You want to be able to schedule the time with your loved ones. You don't want to work yourself into the ground. You don't want to, you want to be able to stop and enjoy the roses, or what is the saying? Stop, have some time to stop and smell the roses, or something like that. Y'all know the saying. But yeah, so you don't want to run yourself into the ground. Especially like I said, if you do have family, if you have children, you want to be able, because they will remember that mom and dad didn't spend no time with me when I was younger. When they get older, they're gonna start telling all the tea. So you want to make sure you do things. You'll have like a family night. Sometimes, like, people, uh, I have a friend of mine who, like, she would do stuff with her family, like, on Sundays, and they would have, like, movie nights. They get the popcorn, they pick a movie, and they it's their time together, and then they catch up on what's been happening in each other's lives and activities. So you definitely want to be able to do that, and you don't want to miss out, because God forbid something is happening in your child's life, and you too busy out there working to even know what's happening, and then something happens. So you don't ever want to be in that kind of situation. And with my teenager, I gotta be trying to force him to do something. Like, they at that age, how teenagers be. They act like they don't know you. You like, but they want to ask you for money and for you to take them somewhere, but they don't want to sit down and spend no time with you. So, but but at least we try to do some things together. Even if I gotta force them, like, we do it. We gonna do it. I don't care what the hell you doing. We gonna do it. So we gonna spend some time together. So make sure you definitely prioritize that. Spend some time with the fam, with your friends. If you don't, with your kids. If sister, brother, like I said, mom, dad, whoever is important in your life, that you want to give your time to, make sure you have, you spend some time, schedule some time with them. Now, the final step, the final, not step, but tip, hack, strategy is, I bet you I can't find no drum roll, but if I find a drum roll, I'll probably put it in there. But if not, I'll do a little pause and I'll say drum roll. So hopefully I was able to find it. If not, y'all just go with it. And so the final tip for doing time management and making sure you have a healthy work-life balance is self-care. people who are like they so over the self-care right now, like they everything has to be self-care. But let me tell you how it's so important. It is definitely the most, important thing you could do for yourself. It doesn't have to be anything like extravagant. Like, you don't have to be going out there to the spa, and even though that'd be nice, if you can't afford, anything like that, you can do something on a smaller scale at home. If just schedule some self-care time for yourself. Like, you need time to rejuvenate, to regroup, to get back out there. And let me tell you, in my case, I always be thinking that coffee going to do it, but coffee is not happening. It's not working for me, how I thought it was going to be working for me. So, as far as self care, like, something I may do is like I may do like a face mask. Like, you know how Walmart, they sell those face masks. They come like in a little packet. I don't think I have it anymore, but I would just put one of those on, just sit down for a little bit, kind of to myself, and maybe put some music on and try to relax myself. And, think about not so much think about what I have to do the next day, but just get myself right for the things that, or prepared, I should say, for what I have to do the next day. So, definitely self-care is important. Like I said, you just need time to regroup, to rejuvenate. And, if you've had a busy week, like, you want some me time. So if that's for you, going to get your nails done, going to get your hair done, going to get a massage, going shopping, reading a book, go out bike riding, go to the park, go, hang out with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things that you can do, for self-care. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed all of the tips and that you try some. And if you have any additional tips, hacks, strategies, or whatever, please leave them down in the comment section below so we can discuss. And I hope that you will be on your way to a more balanced life. So until next time, peace.